Hey everyone, I have my Craftsman Z6600 Zero Turn lawnmower hoisted up here, and that's because I broke it. Here you typically have a deck roller, and my son was mowing the other day and that broke off. And it was time to mow the yard again, so went out thinking, oh, it might be okay to mow without the deck roller. But then I came upon a root, and so because the roller wasn't there to push the deck up, the root hit, I'm thinking it was right here head on. This is kind of bent. That bent the deck in. Might be kind of, maybe I'll tell how it's bent in right there. Bent it in, and then the lawnmower blade, the middle blade, hit the deck, caused that gash right there. And the force of the blade hitting that broke the spindle assembly, or spindle mount, or whatever you want to call it. This right here. Let me flip that over. This right here is where the belt, the lawnmower deck belt, turns the blade. So you can see the right spindle mount right there. So there's the blade, and there's this spindle that spins it. Deck belt's attached to that, and then there's the mount that holds the blade in place. So as you can see, we no longer have one right here. That's the middle one. That's the one that broke, because the force of the blade hitting the side of the deck when the deck was dented in broke them out. So that's what that looks like, because it mounts this way here, and it broke that off. So broke it in three places. This guy here held on. So actually the blade was still in place, but it was just kind of leaning like that a little bit when I went to take it off. So the takeaway from that is we do need our deck rollers in place. That'll help us to avoid tree roots. They'll work to raise the deck. They'll roll over tree roots versus hitting them head on. You may be wondering, well, why don't you have rollers here? It could be because this is a little angled, so that might help to lift it up. But this area here is just a little bit more straight there at the front, and so you need that roller there. I mean, you do have the ones on the sides as well. So I have my lawnmower secured up, and I'm going to start out first by taking a sledgehammer and just knocking that out. See if I can get that dent back out. And if I can, then I'll go ahead and I'm going to attach this new spindle assembly right here. See, brand new. I think this was 30 bucks Amazon. I also got this deck roller here. It's about 20 bucks. So $50 to make this repair. All right, that may have adjusted it a little bit. I had to use a smaller sledgehammer to be more precise, and then had a larger demolition axe, and I used the sledgehammer side of that, and hopefully that made a difference. We'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and mount the spindle assembly, and we'll put the blade on and just turn it and see what happens. So I want to loose this spring, that way I can work with the belt easier, because I want to get the belt, I want to go ahead and put the belt around the spindle. So there's this hook right here that's mounted to the left side of the spring. I was able to just bend that and get it out of the hole, so that was the easiest way to get this disconnected. And now I got some give. I can go ahead and get this belt in place. And the other thing is, I gotta clean this here. Make sure it's nice and flush when I put the spindle assembly on here. Okay. It comes with 4 of these bolts. I'm gonna go ahead and connect it from the other side, from the bottom. go ahead and throw the blade on here. I don't have all the bolts tight yet, but I just want to make sure this thing can spin. Its star is not perfect, but well, just about. Got a little bit of a glare from the sun, but as you can see, there's plenty of clearance. I don't know if maybe the root hit the blade got caught on the root, and that's what snapped it. So maybe the deck was cleared good enough, but I'm still thinking that the deck roller had a part to play, because if it would have lifted the deck up, then the blade probably wouldn't have got caught in the root. Okay, unfortunately, the threading on this one right here is stripped. I'm gonna have to get a bolt for the other side of it and install it right there. So, a little hiccup in trying to get this done. Found a lock nut here, so we'll see if that works. And now I'm gonna throw some thread lock on it. That nut will work that around, so I'll just get that in there and it should be fine. This is the thread locker that I used. So I have a 1/2 inch wrench that I'm gonna use down here, and I'm just gonna do that from both sides, tighten it. Now that bolt and nut is in place, all 4 are secure. Got the belt around there, so I just gotta get the tensioner back in place. In order to get tension restored on the belt, so I got the spring, it's hooked back into this tensioning spindle here. Okay, and then now I gotta attach the spring to this hook, which you just slide into that hole in the deck right there. But I'm gonna use 2 hands to try to get them connected up. The tensioner is secured and the belt is nice and tight, so ready to move on to the deck roller. Went ahead and place this here between the mount, and as you can see, we got some gaps on both sides. These mounts here were bent up, so I'm going to go ahead and straighten them out. Looks like a good fit now. There's good movement in there, so I should be able to get that to mount pretty easily. So here are it's 4 pieces total. It's a pin to keep it in, so you put that right here. And this rod, mounting rod. Got a washer. I'm going to put that like on the outside of this pin here. So I'll put the pin right here, and then the roller will go right here. There's a second hole up here for this rod to mount in there to keep it secured. So it looks like I'm gonna have to do a little bit of tapping to get that in there. Actually, I'll just check the other side, see if it does any better. There we go. That's what that looks like now. Put that here. Might have to tap the mounts over a little bit to get this pin in here, so I'm going to play around with that for a minute. Okay, that still rolls real nicely. I think that's going to work way better this time. Okay, last up, I'm going to hit this with my impact wrench. I've had blades fall off on me. This is a way to prevent that. Make sure they're on here good and tight. There's the finished product. We'll see how it mows. But before I do that, just want to say thanks for watching and God bless.